Have you ever had a friend where all of a sudden it got really weird? I can remember one guy I got to know who I thought we were getting to be friends, actually with his whole family, his wife and him. And he invited my wife and I over for dinner. I just thought, it's like what you do when you start to become friends with somebody. You eventually make it over to their house, they make it to your house, and you have dinner. And so as we walk into dinner, we sit down, everything seems really normal. And he asked me a really strange question. Out of the blue, he says, "Hey, I wonder what kind of knives you have." I said, "What do you mean? Like do I like knives?" He said, "No, do you have steak knives?" I said, I don't know. I mean, everybody has knives. I don't know what you mean. Next thing I know, he has a whole bunch of knives laid out on the table. And it's a whole presentation on how I can buy a set of knives that do all kinds of things that I've never thought about doing with a knife, from peeling a tomato to cutting a penny into a corkscrew. I didn't know it, but all of our relationship was about him trying to make a sell for a company that he worked for that sells knives. I'm happy to say that we got out of there without buying a new set of knives, but just barely. And I could tell somehow something had been lost in our relationship. It was as though if I wasn't going to buy knives or wasn't interested in it, we weren't going to be as close of friends. It felt like our friendship was just about him trying to sell me something. Fortunately, this is the way a lot of people feel as they interact with folks that follow Jesus, that are church folks. They feel like the only reason we want to be friends with them, the only reason we want a relationship with them, the only reason we do anything nice to them is because we're going for the sale. We have to make sure that they know about Jesus, because really our friendships in and of themselves don't matter. It's really only if we get to talk about Jesus or get them to sort of sign on the dotted line, so to speak. Often we've been raised in environments that tell us that we become friends with people so that at some point we do something to them, some kind of church thing, something about God. And it doesn't come in a very natural, organic, or frankly, it often doesn't feel very caring. See, when God wanted to demonstrate his love for us, he became like us. God incarnated himself in flesh. This is what we see in the person and the life of Jesus. He reached all the way to us, becoming like us, connecting with us. It isn't just enough to have true things to say. It matters the posture in which you take, how you demonstrate love by who you are and the way you talk. We're not just trying to talk to people so that we can convert them. We don't love people just so we can convert them. We love people because we have been converted. God has gripped our hearts in such a way that we're so filled with the love of God that we want to engage those with that love around us. As we get to know our neighbors, I'll tell you, if you're doing something weird to them, they're going to sniff it out. But I think everybody's looking to see, is there anybody out there that really just loves people, really cares about them? The irony is when we're out there trying to sell people something, it gets really weird. People don't like it, and frankly, very few people end up giving their life to Jesus. But when we love people right where they're at, and we love people from the substance of who we are, people come to know Jesus all over the place. People don't like to be projects, but they're really interested in the love that you have and the way that you love them. And hopefully, that's the way that we talk about the life that we have in Jesus. It's compelling, and it draws people into a life that they never knew was possible.